St Catherine of Siena, born on the 25th of March 1347 on the feast of the Annunciation to Our Lady by the angel Gabriel. From her earliest age God revealed himself to little Catherine. She accepted to his grace from this time until entering her reward on the 29th of April 1380 at the age of 33. At the age of 5, she would climb the stairs in her home on her knees as she prayed the Hail Mary on each step. Catherine consecrated her virginity to Christ when she was 7 years old, and in her 16th year took the habit of the Third Order Dominicans, and renewed her commitments to live a life of penance as did the Desert Fathers from her room in her father's house. When Catherine was a teenager, she firmly opposed her parents' desire that she marry. She wanted to be devoted to God alone, so she began fasting and praying. Then she cut her hair short so that she would be less attractive to young men. Eventually, her parents accepted her vocation and commitment to God alone and virginity. At 21, she entered into a mystical marriage with the groom of the church while praying. Jesus appeared to her, along with the Virgin Mary and King David as a harpist. During the locution, Jesus placed a ring on her finger. The ring remained visible for the rest of her life, although Catherine was the only one who could see it. After receiving the gift of spiritual marriage, Catherine began a more active ministry to the poor, sick, and imprisoned of Siena. When Black Death struck Siena, Catherine and her companions remained hard at work, caring for those affected. She also began to get involved in the spiritual plagues of the church at the time, with multiple pope claimants and widespread corruption. She wrote hundreds of letters to kings, queens, nobility, religious, priests, and even to the Pope himself. At that time, the divisions in the church profound, and Catherine engaged in severe penance and prayer. She no longer ate or drank, living only on the Holy Eucharist, which she received every day. When Catherine was 28 years old, she received the stigmata on the fourth Sunday of Lent, in Pisa, 1375. She fell into ecstasy and received the gift of the invisible stigmata. Much like Padre Pio when he first received the wounds, he asked Jesus to take the physical wounds away but keep their suffering. Catherine made this request and it was granted throughout her lifetime. Though God granted this to Padre Pio only initially during the first few years of his stigmata. The wounds appeared physically on her body only after her death. In her vision she saw the crucified Lord and rays of light extended from Jesus' body piercing her own, leaving the marks of the wounds. In 1370, she received a series of visions of hell, purgatory, and heaven, after which she heard a command to leave her withdrawn life and enter the public life of the world. Being illiterate, she dictated several letters to men and women in authority, especially begging for peace between the republics and principalities of Italy and for the return of the papacy from Avignon to Rome. She carried on a long correspondence with Pope Gregory XI, also asking him to reform the clergy and the administration of the Papal States. Her letters, and later her face-to-face conversations, were not only directed to the Holy Father with the affection and sincerity of a loving spiritual daughter, they were also firm, direct, and challenging. Key details of the Western Schism. The three lines: Legatum Pope in Rome, Urban VI, Avignon, Anti-Pope Clement VII, and Pisa, Anti-Pope Alexander V. The Western Schism was by the Ecumenical Council of Constance, 1414–1418, and the Pope of Rome was affirmed as legitimate. In June of 1376, Catherine went to Avignon herself as ambassador of Florence to make peace with the Papal States, but was unsuccessful. She had tried to convince Pope Gregory XI to return to Rome. She impressed the Pope so much that he returned his administration to Rome in January 1377. During the Western Schism of 1378, she was an adherent of Pope Urban VI, who summoned her to Rome, and stayed at Pope Urban VI's court and tried to convince nobles and cardinals of his legitimacy. She lived in Rome until her death in 1380. The problems of the Western Schism would trouble her until the end of her life, and she unfortunately never saw the resolution of this schism at the Ecumenical Council of Constance in 1414–1418. St. Catherine, at the age of 33, suffered of a stroke while in Rome. On the 29th of April 1380, her feast is celebrated on the same day by the Catholic Church. After working in the Lord's vineyard, Matthew 9:37, she ran the race and won 1 Corinthians 9:24. Her body remained at Rome where she works in the Lord vineyard, but pilgrims from her hometown in Siena took a piece of her as a relic to be venerated by those who knew her until today. St. Catherine of Siena, pray for us.